Hey guys and gals out there. I'm not sure where you're at, but we're here. My name is Cedric Crawford, also known as Mr. Make It Great. And I have with me this great collection of people here. But it's not about me today. I am so stoked for you guys to be able to see what it is that I've seen. I don't know how you got this or who sent this link to you, but thank you so much, because one of the most precious commodities this side of the universe is actually time. Before we get into that, I want to start with introductions real quick. To my left, go ahead.
Sherry Reitmer.
Sherry Reitmer. And to my right,
Pink.
Pink, just simple pink.
Pink.
Pink. She's wearing purple today, but it's pink.
Yeah, it would be pink to me.
And I'm Tina.
Tina.
I'm Ronald Ray.
There's so much we can talk about. This video showing to you was just more of a small glimpse of what is actually Shar-On is all about. And so my first question here was, why Shar-On?
The goal is to just have people come together and just love each other. That's it. Come and have a sandwich with us, come and eat, come and be with us in a judge-free atmosphere, and we just become one family, and then we start giving to each other and out into the community.
I love the judgment-free. I don't know if you caught that, but there's also, I'm sure this is not the first program that's been out doing something in the community. What makes this one different, Tina? What would you say about this one that makes it different?
It's different because all of us, we are Shar-On. I maybe not had a home when I first started going to Shar-On, but it feels like it's your home. Every day when you go there, everybody knows who you are, they know your story, they know everything about you, and they're there to give you support, they're there just to be your family. I just get so excited because it's just amazing what Shar-On has done for me personally.
So the difference of any other organization out there, 501c3 that's doing work, the difference with this one is that this is more of a family, of a collective.
It really is.
And so I heard this term being thrown around by you guys called the collective. Ron, can you kind of explain what the collective is?
The collective is, everybody who uses our services is the collective. They all have a voice in what goes on inside of Shar-On.
Wow. Okay.
We have collective meetings. We decide what we want to do next. We discuss what has happened during the week. It's just really good. And everybody has a voice.
Wow.
Every Monday.
Yep.
It's 3 o'clock.
So would you say that, okay, so I'm putting this all together and I'm trying to help the viewer here to understand this whole process. So when you say everybody has a voice, is that important?
What gets them excited about it is they have a voice. They can say what they want. They come up with ideas. They come up with, it's just a way to, I just get chills when I talk about it. You have the ability to change what's happening.
Got you. What you say matters.
Yes.
Wow.
We take a vote on it, If somebody throws something on the table, we're gonna sit there and vote on it, okay? Do we agree that this is what, this is the best thing for us right now? We vote on it, and if it doesn't pass, okay, whatever, but when it passes, we follow through, and that's what we do.
Pink, how do you feel? What do you like best about the whole collective idea?
That we get our own voice in everything, like we make our own rules and nobody's telling us what to do, and we just all come together and work good together.
You guys get paid to do anything when you show up?
No.
with this?
No.
We're all volunteers.
14 hours a day, man.
Wow.
For nothing.
Nothing stronger than the heart.
No,
of
14
volunteers.
hours a day to feel good in your heart's what it's for.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
And
That's
that's
how
a good
other
segue.
people feel good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good segue too for this term called good for nothing. Some of you out there, it's funny because we were talking a little bit earlier about where that originated from, which actually the term did originate from me, but Sharon borrowed it and installed it into something that added another tooth to this smile. So, I mean, I grew up in the United States of Texas. I like to jokingly say that, where my grandmother used to call me and my brothers lazy, and she calls us lazy good-for-nothings. And so I've kind of turned it and repurposed that statement to say, hey, wait a minute, those who are doing good in the community for nothing in return as far as money actually fits that profile of good for nothing. And so you have Team Good for Nothing,
Team doing good for nothing.
Team Doing Good for Nothing. So tell me about Team Good for Nothing, doing
Here
good
they
for nothing.
are. This is part of them. This is part of them. One of the originals, and then
Tag along.
and Ron added on. So yeah.
You see they're all branded?
Yeah, we just
Yeah, we got the S.
I need to get a shirt so I can stay there and be the commemorative
We'll get
guy.
you a get you a shirt. So, yeah, a larger size.
Yes.
But no, it's Team Doing Good for Nothing. It's really, you started this, as you said, and it's really getting out there and doing good for absolutely nothing at all. And what we have found, well, what I have found, I'll just take ownership, and I think everyone agrees, is that the more we give, the more there is to give.
Wow.
And that is really powerful. Like, there's never lack. There is never lack. We started off with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and then we just kept growing in love. And not only are we just feeding so many people, and our purpose is not the feeding. It's not. It truly is, we get to come together. And the more we come together, the more of us there is to just keep giving, and we keep mentoring, and that just keeps growing. That's what the model is that's really working here more than anything else. And I've noticed that we're like a kaleidoscope. I love that term. A kaleidoscope, every time you move it or change it, the crystals in it turn to this amazing stained glass, right?
Yeah.
And no one's told what to do. No one is given instructions. No one is given a schedule, right, you guys? Everyone just shows up and just falls in place like this beautiful kaleidoscope, and it's just magnificent, and we just keep growing.
Building something like this from as grassroots as you can get it. You heard her talk about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and it was like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich social that y'all started with?
Well, here's what happened. As you can see by the video, right? I was tired driving back and forth, and you were part of Homeless Has Talent. We would do it here in Bakersfield. It's a lot of work. So, but just to get to know people in our own town, now how would we do that? Well, we thought of, in our board meeting, an ice cream social. But the thing is, it was August, so ice cream was not going to work out too well. So then all of a sudden, everybody likes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and let's just throw in some bologna and cheese in there too, some chips and cookie. And so we just, as people were walking by, just asked them, you want to come join us for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And just sit and yak and get to know them. And now it's like 5-course meal, and the cook is amazing, all the food's amazing. I mean, it's not like a soup kitchen, let me just tell you.
No.
It is some good eating food.
With the viewer out there, I think some of you may have a question of how can I do this in my community, or what does it take to make something like this go? Because as you heard, I don't know if they heard in the video, but we're going to hear right now, is that the budget that they work with is only a few hundred bucks a month.
$450 a month.
Say that again, they probably didn't.
$450 a month,
Yeah.
and the video, we didn't have everyone added up, and it said 6,000. It was over 8,000 is what we ended up serving.
Wow.
So
With
yeah,
$450 a month that runs the operations and such, and everything else shows up. 60,000 pounds. That's, I don't know where you're at, but from the chair that I'm in, 60,000 pounds a month, or what is it?
a month.
A month
A month. These
blows
guys-
my mind.
He weighs it. Ron is
Weighs
completely
it.
in charge of all of our food, our
I'm the one
operations.
who's broke out.
Guys, that blows my mind. Now that's a small explosion, but it's still a blow. It blows my mind that much food is coming through there, and it started with the P&Js.
Everything that we receive just perfectly seems to go out.
Right.
Just perfect. There's never a lack. There's never too much. There's never
Whatever
not
we
enough.
put,
It's
it's
just
perfect.
absolutely perfect. And we keep growing. You know, if it's okay. We like the word collective because that way it's all inclusive with everyone, whether you have a home, whether you don't have a home. But most of our group here are pretty much homeless. Ron had a home but no working kitchen, if that's okay, if I can share that.
Fine, yeah.
So, but the thing is that what's amazing is here, coronavirus, we're all familiar with that, right? Coronavirus came, all food banks, soup kitchens, everything shut down, except for these homeless heroes right
Wow.
here. Our
Kept
team
showing
doing good for nothing. And you know what? People might say that our group doesn't have social skills or education and stuff like that, but I'll tell you what our group does have. And not only just amazing love, but they have survival skills that are off the chart. Like they can find toilet paper when no one else can find some toilet paper.
Very
Okay?
resourceful.
So yes, and the thing is, this group was the most amazing, perfect group to rise up during this time. And we're just not food bank. We serve everybody, whether you have a kitchen, no kitchen, whether you have a kitchen and it doesn't work, because a lot of food banks, and thank you, we're very proud and happy of our food banks, but what you gonna do with a slab of meat and a bunch of cans if you're homeless and schlepping all that around? So we serve everybody, all different categories, all ages, it doesn't matter. And even if you're, like we said, a multi-millionaire, it doesn't matter, you just come to our table.
The one thing that stands out with me when it comes to the Shar-On Foundation and what they're doing, what their team doing for Good for Nothing, and the whole just collective, is that it's a culture that they've created. It's one that's welcoming, that allows for all comers with no judgment. And you know, we all have our faults, fallacies, hang-ups and stuff like that. But coming into a culture that allows for you to be who you are, and the rules are set by the collective itself, so it's almost they're self-governed. Reminds me of like a movie or something, a sci-fi movie. but they work well and they're able to make this thing go. And on this small little budget to be able to make that happen. Now, how can you make this happen in your community? Man, I got to tell you this. I thought this through, and I said one of the biggest things you got to have going forward is you got to have someone who has a passion to serve. And I'm not just, people throw passion and service and selfless stuff, they throw that out like it's passe, but it is really the core of an organization that would run like this one, is a passion to be selfless in your service. If you don't have that, then what do you have? You got something that's a schlep. It's like, but when you have that at its core, and Sherry, I know her personally, right? How long have we known each other?
8 years.
8 years or so. And so,
Or so.
or so.
That's a good so,
Oh,
right?
yes. And I've seen her come to the minefield of growth and such, and have a few missing limbs and to show for it. And going forward, she's morphed into this butterfly that is still humble, so she won't toot her own horn. So I like doing that for her every now and then, as I'm sure the collective would do as well, and I'm sure you saw in the video as well too. So if I had a hat on, I'd take it off to her. With that said, what does Shar-On Corporation need most right now as far as going forward? Because the model is a great one. What would you say it needs most?
Well, I think the model, the awareness is probably the greatest gift that we can have, and that to allow others to know that they can create this themselves. I mean, really, it just takes people to love each other and just a willingness. That's it. And I know that our next leg that we would like to take on is creating training opportunities, or opportunities where we can take this into other communities or train other entities and companies. I know they're amazing mentors, and you can't get, I mean, the best way is paying forward, right? What's been given to me, I now get to pass on, and that's exactly what we get to do. So, and of course, volunteers, monetary, I mean, all that stuff just kind of shows that obviously we haven't needed it, but it's always welcome.
Yes.
That's not our priority. Our priority really is to really allow this new model to be the forefront for humanity. Because really, everyone's doing all that they can, and the world's hurting out there, especially with COVID. And they have a prediction, I know our group knows this, but Cedric, they have a prediction that by the time COVID is ended, our homelessness and poverty, especially homelessness, will be increasing 48%. And so we really are trailblazing at the forefront, and we're already ready for what possibility, and there is hope. We aren't in a doom and gloom situation, as we can see. We do amazing things, and so this is how we do it.
And I think you said it best when you said we don't see lack,
Never.
And staying in this mindset, because I always like to say your skill sets and assets without the proper mindset will leave you upset. So having the right mindset is huge. The attitude, the ATTITUDE of attitude, a tool to install thought used to determine emotion. That's what attitude is, and the attitudes that they have, they've determined this emotion. They've picked it. So now they squeeze the juice out of that in service to this hurting humanity, if you will. And that's what makes the wheels be really lubed in running this whole foundational thing. I love the template. It's duplicatable. There's a blueprint in place because they came, they saw it, and they've conquered it, and they're continuing to still grow because they have that selfless service type of thing that's deep down inside, and they're exercising the T's of giving. Let me share those with you real quick. Oh, hold on a second.
Oh.
Hello. It's for you. Your destiny's calling.
Nice.
What is your destiny? Your destiny is your legacy is something that you can pull out. If you're watching this video right now, I'm telling you, if this doesn't fire you up, you're dealing with some wet wood. There's some opportunity here to be able to take a model that's been duplicated, that's been done, it's laid down the foundation, as she said so eloquently, that they have the mentors to be able to do this. They have the function of how to, $450 a month to run? Are you crazy? I mean, you got to be 3 kinds of crazy and 2 kinds of foolish not to think that that's got to be outstanding to be able to run an organization that's like that and push 60,000 pounds of food through
This
to a
is
community.
priceless right here.
Yes.
This is priceless.
Haven't-
Can't beat this.
Right. And one of those T's, we got a few different T's that's being given right there. One is that first T of talent. What talent do you have? Now, obviously, they have some type of talent that they're just being kind to people. That's a talent. Just smiling, showing your teeth, even if you got 1 tooth. Brush it first, then show it off. So, that's the talent. Next thing is the treasures. That's the easy part, where you can give or donate money. But that doesn't cause for you to be involved. So they need those 2, obviously, the treasures. Then another one is, which is the most important one, is your time. Your T of time to say, hey, I'm going to show up to help them go up. And I made it rhyme for you. Show up so you can help them go up. Next thing, T of their testimony. So when people come as part of the collective, they can share stories of how they were here, been there, done that, got the t-shirt and socks to match, but now what it's doing for them. And invite other people to be able to catch a glimpse of what could be for themselves, right?
Right.
That
It's
testimony. And the last T, which is the most important one, I think, is at the end of the day, when you feel like you got nothing, you still have the ability to be able to give, guess what? Thanks. Thanks for what it is that you do have. So when you have a collective like this here that's working, oh my gosh, I got to applaud here real quick. Very nice. They showed up today, and I hope that what you've seen today has been something that has impressed and imprinted upon your heart, and has caused you not to just want to say it, but also display it. Because it's easy for us to say, but it's tough for us to display. We have to be the hands, the feet, in order to be able to go out and show what it is that we know. Because we may know it, but most people don't show it. But they are today here doing that. Before we check out, because we're getting at that time for you guys, we didn't want to break the hour here. Before we go out, is there anything that anyone wanted to share with the viewers that you think they may need to hear? That we didn't touch?
One thing I think is the thanks part is anytime we need somebody to step up, we can ask them to do something, and they but you have to say thanks for it. That's
right.
That's the best thing. You just can't have them do it and then you're gone, and you're
Right.
not there.
Yeah.
You have to say thank you. You have to respond to what they have done.
Exactly.
You have to acknowledge it.
Yes.
That's right.
And that's the best thing about Shar-On, I think. We all acknowledge each other.
That's like our payment,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It is.
Somebody just says, thank you.
Yeah,
And
that,
you're
that
going,
feels so good to
awesome,
hear
you
that.
know, because we're here for that.
Yeah.
Acknowledgement
Wow.
is
Love it.
huge.
It's just to acknowledge that these people haven't been acknowledged forever, seems like, you know, just to say that you're alive and you did, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that you see them rise up.
Yeah.
I can chime in here that when I first was showing the video to our collective, there was quite a few people that were just crying because it's the first time they really heard something good about themselves.
Wow.
And you know what? These guys give like crazy. When Mel was on the film saying that, seriously, 12, 14 hours a day. Some of them rolling out of ditches. I mean, seriously, food handlers permits, taking showers in those kitchens, and they give like crazy. I mean, so to hear wonderful things, just, wow, I like your smile, some kind of compliment. That
was your
is
shoes.
huge. That was an assignment we had.
I
We
mean,
all had to give each other
Nobody else
compliments.
but me.
So, but
Love it.
really, just, thank somebody, whether you see them on the street or just in a bank, just say something wonderful to each other. Be considerate of the whole, because it takes us all. It really does.
It takes a village, a
Yes.
big village, too nowadays too. I love the concept of I'm gonna use this term loosely, the needy serving the needy. It's like really, it's like I need a little something, I'm gonna serve those who are in need too as
Who would have
well.
thought?
Who would have
Who
thought?
would have thought?
Matter of fact, the giver is of no use unless there's those who are in need.
Exactly.
What you
That's
gonna do?
right.
You're a giver, but you don't have anybody in need. You're worthless. Thank you again for your time.
Yes.
Just watch after this. We're going to post some ways that you can get in contact with Shar-On Foundation, and so you can actually give one of those teas, whichever those teas are, or also pick their brains, so to speak, to see how you can start something similar in your community as well too. Because this is duplicatable. There's a blueprint to making this happen, and it's happened, and it was created because someone said yes and stepped into it, and just. I love this when you say just breathe and step.
Breathe
You
and
go into
step,
it.
but one more thing, an invitation, please. We'd love to hear your voices and bring your ideas and suggestions to the table. You can call us, email us, any way you can come to our collective meeting. It's open to everybody. So, right, wouldn't we welcome all ideas? So, yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Y'all got a little chant, little Shar-On Foundation chant?
Oh, we do.
We do.
Ready?
Love it up.
All right. We are Shar-On, mighty, mighty Shar-On. Everywhere we go, people want to know who we are. So we tell them, we are Shar-On, mighty, mighty Shar-On. Yay! Thank you, Titans.
Inspired by the movie The Titans.
We are the Titans, yes.
Never came out.